What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Copa America group stage predictions. Yes, I did say group stages. I will make a video for the knockout stages when that time comes. But let's jump into Group A, which has Argentina, Canada, Chile, and Peru. I think it's just safe to say everyone believes that Argentina will be at the top of this group, and I have to agree with that. With them coming off the World Cup, and it's going to be Messi's go around, I have to say they're going to top this group. Now, for that second position to go through to the knock stage is a toss up in this group. You have Canada, who's ranked 40th in the ELO ratings, just bringing in Jesse Marsch as manager. He only has two friendlies under his belt, with the squad losing 4-0 against the Netherlands, and then getting a great result, in my opinion, 0-0 against France. Then you have Chile, who's ranked one spot above Canada in the ELO rating at 39. They're coming off a win against Paraguay that finished 3-0 and then lost to France 3-2, which to me is a pretty good result. Then there's Peru sitting at 32 in the ELO ratings, and in their last two friendlies, warming up for Copa, they beat El Salvador 1-0 and then drew against Paraguay 0-0. Currently, though, Peru are not looking good in their World Cup qualifying in Canoble, but they haven't played those since November of 23. With all that being said, I think the team that is going to go through in that second spot will be Chile. I really want to say Canada, but with Jesse Marsch just starting out, I don't think there's been enough time with him in the squad to get on the same stage. But I do believe that Canada will finish third in the group, and I think Peru will finish last. Canada, though, I would love for you all to prove me wrong and get that second spot. Moving on to Group B, we have Ecuador, Jamaica, Mexico, and Venezuela. This group is just like Group A. I think there is a clear number one in this, and it would have to be Ecuador. They're just a lot better than the other three teams in this group, and I see them having no problem with those three teams. As for that number two spot, though, I think it's between Mexico and Venezuela. With all the issues going on with Jamaica and their current form, I believe that they finished last in this group. So we'll start off with Mexico. They're currently sitting 22nd in the ELO rating, but I believe their current form and all the drama that they have had surrounding them lately, I don't believe they truly are in that 22nd spot. Their last two matches were friendlies against Uruguay and Brazil, and they lost both of them, getting beat pretty badly against Uruguay 4-1, and then losing to Brazil 3-2 in the late stages of the match. As for Venezuela, they're sitting 32nd in the ELO rating, coming off of a draw 0-0 to a not-so-good side from Guatemala, and then losing 2-1 in Italy back in March. However, in World Cup qualifying, they are currently on a 5-match unbeaten streak, spanning from September of 23 to November of 23. But I think for that second spot, I'm going to have to go with Mexico with their current form. I may be biased because they are in CONCACAF, but I think that they're going to get the job done to move on, which brings Venezuela in at that number 3 spot there in Group B. I am, however, going to skip Group C, and we will do those last because that has the U.S. in it. So let's go on to Group D. Group D has Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Paraguay. I believe this may be the shortest talked about group because I think that there are two clear winners and two clear losers in this group, but you never know what happens in these kinds of tournaments. But I will go ahead and tell you that I believe that Brazil and Colombia are the two teams in this group that will be moving on with that number 1 and number 2 spot. But I'm not sure who I want. I'm back and forth between Brazil finishing first or Colombia finishing first. But I'm going to stay with it, and I believe this group ends up in alphabetical order. I think it goes Brazil first, Colombia second, Costa Rica third, and Paraguay in that 4th spot for Group D. So yes, now we move on to Group C, which consists of Bolivia, Panama, USA, and Uruguay. Just like Groups A and B, I think there's one clear winner in this, and I think that number 1 spot in Group C will go to Uruguay. Uruguay comes in at 8 in the ELO rating, and the closest team to them is the USA at 23rd. I think Uruguay has no issues in this group, and they take that number 1 spot. Now, for the number 2 spot, I think it's open to any of the 3 teams. I'm trying not to be completely biased and just say that the U.S. goes through on taking that 2nd place. Panama is a team you can't count out at any time. I know Bolivia are the lowest ranking team in Copa America out of all the teams in it, but I got a feeling you can't count them out either. Bolivia, though, have lost their last 3 friendlies, losing to the likes of Mexico, Ecuador, and Colombia. Their last win was back on March 25th in a friendly against Andorra, only winning 1-0 in that match. So I do have to say Bolivia will come in the 4th spot there in Group C. The U.S. has 2 different teams showing up in their last 2 matches. One team played timid and scared and got destroyed by Colombia 5-1. Then had an aggressive, upbeat team that showed up and got a 1-1 draw with Brazil. They are coming off another CONCACAF Nations League win over Mexico back in March, so I really believe it depends on which USA team decides to show up if they move on or not. Now for Panama, they are coming off of a loss to Paraguay 1-0 this past Sunday, but their 2 matches before that were back at the beginning of June for World Cup qualifying. Both of these matches by 2 goals, but not against very good opponents. So I think that number 2 spot, if we see the aggressive, upbeat USA team, that's who will move on. If not, Panama will finish in that 2nd spot. But for my predictions, I believe we will see that aggressive, upbeat USA squad, and they will finish 2nd there in Group C, while Panama will take that 3rd spot. So that is it for my Copa America group stage predictions. Let me know in the comments down below who you think will be moving on, who will make it to the knockout stages. Like the video and subscribe if you like the content, and we will see you for the USA watch along there in the group stages.